go. Are you ready to get started? Woohoo! This is a quick and easy class. And if you will promise me to implement this, I can promise you massive results. More on that in just a moment. Let's start with a little bit of fun like we always do, right? Voicemails. I love these. Have you guys ever seen this? It's called Some E-Cards, and they're all like kind of witty, sarcastic humor. So if this is you, hi, this is Lauren, you don't have to call me back. No one's gonna, folks. It's harsh, but it's true. So let's start with a really quick poll in chat. Open it up if you haven't already, dropped in your name, location, and how many shots you've done with us in the past. And tell me, how many voicemails do you get returned each week? How many times are prospects calling you? We did a poll on LinkedIn recently, and I will share those results. Loving the honesty, folks. I'm at a fat goose egg with everybody in chat so far if you don't have that open. Wow. Yeah. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 to 3. Okay, so we need this. Hey, Amy's been to all the shots. Amy, you might have a problem. 0 to 1, 3. Jenny Russell is our current expert. Thank you very much. This is great. It is super challenging. Nobody returns voicemails anymore. It's tough. So we have to be better, and it's worth it. We did ask this poll on LinkedIn. Here are the results. 84% of the folks who voted get 1 to 3. And that's because we didn't leave 0 as an option. So you're in really, really good company, you guys. 10% of folks are getting 4 to 6 returned each week. But guess what? Less than 4% are getting 10 returned every week. And that's the group we want to be in. Getting 10 voicemails returned a week is having 2 extra sales conversations a day. It's like having 6 selling days in 5. Okay. This is one of those tiny skills that pays off in a really, really big way. So let's jump right into our first shot. Yep, we do the whole thing with shots. And here it is. You can take it. Are you ready? Sorry. Most voicemails suck. I mean, really, think about it. How often do you call them back? Right? Think about the last few that you left. Would you call you back? Oh, I know that's harsh, but fair. I listen to thousands every single year, and I'm going to tell you some of the top mistakes, and I promise we're going to tell you exactly how to fix it. Here's your second shot. Thank you, sir. Might I have another? You still got to leave one. I'm sorry. I know it sucks. I know you'd rather text your friends. I know only old people and like your grandparents call you and leave voicemails anymore. But in business, it is still normal. It is expected, and you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. Folks, it does not count as a touch if you're not leaving a voicemail. Yes, even if you never leave one for your friends. So let's start with another pop quiz here. How many touches, sounds creepy, doesn't it? But there you go, whether it's LinkedIn, social media, email, voicemail, how many touches does it take until a prospect's ready to buy? Jenna Morris, 12, Theodone, 12, Leslie, 8, Rhonda, 8, Kim, 4, more than 7, less than 9, $1, 8 to 13, 12 to 15. Scott, you are my big winner. Depending on what research you look at, right? It used to be 7, then it was 8. I've seen 13. It's taking more and more. So folks, it doesn't count unless you're leaving a voicemail. You might call 10 times, but unless you're leaving that voicemail, you're at 0 touches, and you're not building your way up to that 8 to 13 touches that it takes. So let's take a look at how long it takes to get a hold of somebody. Now, this data is slightly outdated, so I think it's going to be a little bit worse, but what percentage of folks do you get a hold of the first time you try? Feel free to vote along with me. This is fun. I won't do it on every time, but what percent do you think do you get a hold of the first time you call? 20, says Jacob. Thank you. 15, says Chris. Thanks for playing, Carol. 10, 10, 10. $1, says Leslie. Mike, $1. It feels like that, doesn't it? About 30%. I'm going to say 25 to 30%. Okay. Make 100 calls. You're going to get a hold of 30. Make 10. It says you're going to get a hold of 3 people. 2.5. Let's be honest. 2 calls. You're going to get up to almost 40, 50%. If you try 3 times, you're creeping towards 70, 4 times towards 70 or 80, 5. If you make 5, 6 calls, right? That should say 6, pardon me, in the purple. You're almost at 90% of actually getting a hold of somebody. Okay, so if it's a good lead, don't try fewer than 6 times. Just don't. And yes, that means a voicemail every single time. And here's the worst part of this, you guys. 30% of the leads out there are actually never contacted at all. So those are the ones you look at in your book, you're like, not worth it, right? Or I try once, I don't like get the right number, I get a hold of nobody, I leave no voicemail, just a ghost. And that's a bummer, right? We're wasting our time, we're wasting our dollars on leads. It's like spending thousands of dollars on a billboard and then just leaving it blank. Yikes, right? Yikes. After each message you leave, your callback rate goes up. Okay, so studies out there tell us that callback rates on voicemails are super low. They're like 1 to 5%, depending on the source that you look at. Each message you leave, though, it goes up about 10%. This is according to RingLeads data. Leave 4 messages in 4 calls, you're up over a 50% chance to get a hold of them and over a 33% chance they're going to call you back. Keep going all the way up to 6. You've got yourself a shot. Okay. Maybe you don't do it for your C and D leads, but hell yes, you do it for your A's and B's. If you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you take our qualification class. All right, shot number 3. Let's jump in. There are 4 goals for a voicemail, not just 1. There are 4 things you accomplish. Who can guess what the number 1 goal is for a voicemail? This one's not hard. Boom, it's the callback, obviously, right? Wait till you hear the rest of them though. The number 1 is you got to produce a callback. That's what you want. You want that selling time. Now, it's important we make that distinction because all too many of us try to sell over voicemail. No, it's a hard no. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the second thing that you accomplish when you're leaving a voicemail is it's a brand impression. It's a billboard. I mean, as long as you don't screw it up too badly, right? You're leaving a positive company impression. And those impressions are the things we count as touches. You're looking for 8 to 13, folks. I know you wish you could talk to them, but just consider half your job, all right, 3/4 of your job, marketing, because you're leaving those voicemails. The third goal of the call is to leave a positive you impression. Okay, you're going to brand your company, but you're going to show your personality. And that's going to produce a callback faster than your company impression. Also, because of the 4th goal, you're going to sprinkle in a little guilt. So I'll tell you a quick story here. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. We don't like to admit that in the summer, but there you go. Home of the Phoenix Suns. And I had a rep calling me all the time, trying to sell me box seats, right? I'm a business owner in Phoenix. He mailed me a piece of the hardwood floor. He left 4 to 6 voicemail messages. I got some emails. He was hitting me hard, right? And I was pretty impressed. The truth is, however, I was never going to call this dude back. His name was Scott. Why? I hate basketball. Like with a passion, hate basketball. I can't stand the sound of the sneakers on the, like the, oh, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. The last thing I'm going to do is buy a suite for this. So this poor fool just keeps trying and he doesn't stand a shot. So one day I answer the phone by accident, which is how we get a hold of most people, right? And it's Scott. You did not, Scott. That's hilarious. Everybody read the chat. Scott just interviewed for this. So I answer the phone. It's Scott. And he's like, plays it super cool, right? Because you know that when somebody has been like Heismaning you for a month, when they finally answer, you're going to be like, hey, jerk, I'm the person you've been dodging for 6 calls. But he didn't. He played it super cool. He's like, hi, Lauren, my name is Scott, and I'm with the Suns. And you might have noticed I mailed you a yada yada. And I was like, buddy, I'm so sorry. I know I didn't call you back. Thanks for the piece of hardwood floor. But you see that? I knew that I'd been an ass. And so I started with sorry. It got him a leg up. Guilt works. Religion's been using it for centuries. Why can't we, right? So these are the 4 goals of a voicemail. You're not wasting your time by leaving one. Now let's talk about some of those bad voicemails. Like I said, I've listened to thousands of them and I've kind of categorized them into the top boo-boos. And I'm going to play you a funny example of one in just a minute. Let me make sure I've got that up and ready to go. There it is. All right. But first, let's run through what some of these are, okay? The first one is the ghost mail, the blank billboard. The number one mistake you can make is not leaving a voicemail. So don't make that mistake. The second one I hear is people using their value prop or their elevator pitch as their voicemail. Hi, this is Lauren calling with Factor 8, and we're the nation's #1 provider of digital sales skills training. Yeah, no, it just screams sales call. All you're going to get is a 337. Do you guys know what that is? 337? Fast forward, delete. They don't want to be sold at. Okay. Number 3, buy a billboard, folks, because what they're doing, it's just selling at you, selling at you, selling at you. Number 4 is the rambler, the long-winded message. The 5 is not important. Yeah, well, you don't have to call me back. I'm just gonna. And 6 is the speed demon. I can't tell you how often I get a voicemail of somebody's number I actually have to and want to return. And they're like, hey, this is Laura. I'm at 480-627-622. If you want me to call you back, don't speed through this. I know that you have your number memorized, but I don't. So avoid these mistakes. All right. Let's see if we can get this to play well for us. I'm going to give you an example because it's just fun to listen to other people's mistakes, isn't it? All right, let's make sure we're turned up. Pardon me while I'm on my other screen here. And here we go. Tell me what's wrong with this voicemail and chat as you listen to it.
Hi, good morning, Amanda. This is Brian with American Workforce. Currently right now, 9 a.m. thereabouts on this fine Wednesday morning. It's getting hot today. With American Workforce, our number is 602-272-1774. I just wanted to follow up on some information that we had left to be presented to you. It was
I've paused it. I want you guys, the yes, Melanie. I want you guys to count how many reasons for his call he gives, okay? We're at 1. He wanted to follow up on some information. We also, by the way, got a weather report. It was going to be hot today. Here we go.
Folder on our temporary staffing services. I hope you maybe had a chance to review it a little bit. If there's any questions that you'd like to ask, or if there's any possibility that you might be looking to bring in some temporary staffing, certainly like to try to help you out and see what we can do. We do have some things going on where we're trying to help clients and customers with people they may have had to lay off, if that does apply to your company. Hopefully not. Other words, again, my name is Brian, and I am dispatcher in the morning, 5 to 2 in the afternoon. And Paxton, he is
my favorite part,
a.m. to 6 p.m. Any questions, just give us a call. Thank you, Amanda. I'll try back in a couple of days. Thank you.
Oh, that was just a dumpster fire, wasn't it, you guys? Yeah. Oh, so bad. This guy needs a nap, B, a shot, and C, a new job. Scott, you might be my new best friend. It was just awful. I love the fact at the end he gives his hours. Like Amanda is like, can't wait to call him back and anxiously noting it down, right? And then he gives his buddies hours. Who cares? All right, so we've all made these mistakes. It's fun to make fun of other people. One of these days, like this guy's is going to be on one of my webinars because a client actually gave me this voicemail. It was a real voicemail that had been left for her. That will be very embarrassing. And we've all made mistakes. If you've listened to anything I've presented in the past, you know I hate scripts, except for voicemails. I have a funny story. I am married today because of a really bad voicemail. I was mentoring a guy in one of my leadership classes who, to be honest, I had a crush on. And I hung up the voicemail I left and I was like, oh my God, did I just tell Steve Shar that I'm single in a voicemail? Did that just happen? You know how you want to claw it back? Write yourself a script, come up with some standard voicemails. I'm going to give you some that work. Here we go. Sales shot number 4. Don't sell in your voicemail. Okay. The goal is the callback, but I want you to know it's always about the call. Whether you're touching during social media, emails, voicemails, none of those are times to sell. All of those are there to get you the conversation. Your job is conversations. These are strategies to get you more. If you're trying to leave specials, if you're trying to leave value props, if you're trying to do anything in that voicemail besides brand, give guilt, and get a call back, you're guaranteeing you won't get one. Here's what a good one looks like. Number one, it is under 10 seconds. Number two, it's not just easy to understand, it's easy to read because somebody overseas is transcribing it. Number three, yes, remember how he needed a nap and a shot? Get upbeat, get some energy in your voice. I understand it's the 11th voicemail that you've left today, but your prospect shouldn't feel that. And then of course, leave them wanting more. It's the only reason they're going to call you back. Here's how you do it. We've tested thousands of voicemails, and here are the 4 that work. Number one, this is where you get out your notes, folks. And yes, we've got a download afterwards. And yes, we've got a master class where we're going to teach you how to do this excellently. I might have made up that word, but the class is fantastic and we'll give you a discount at the end of the webinar, so stay tuned. Number one is a lever. A lever is a piece of information that shows you're not cold or a stranger. The number one lever there is a name you have in common, especially if they work at their company. Number two is mystery. I don't know who this person is. I better call back. Number three is urgency. It's a big deal and it's hot. And number four is value. We call it a SWIFT voicemail. Now at Factor 8, we talk a lot about SWIFT. Does anybody know what it stands for? Who doesn't work here? Amy Wonderlick. Can anybody type in what does SWIFT stand for? See if we've got any students in the audience. 5, 4, 3. Coleman, Williams, Carla, Costa, Gareth, Morphil. Thank you. That's right. So what's in it for them? It's the opposite of with them. So what's in it for them? And if you can make everything that comes out of your mouth as a virtual seller SWIFT, you will do better. Here are some examples. You can get these in the download. Okay, a lever. Bob, hey, it's LB calling with Factor 8. I've been working with Coleman and Company for about 5 years now, but I really need to chat with you briefly. You can reach me at slow number, then repeat your name and the slow number. You'll see that as a common theme. Always repeat your name and number, go slowly so they can write it down, or just make sure it's transcribed correctly. That's a lever. It works with somebody at their company name is the best. Works with a name you know in common. You don't have to say how you know that person. You just drop a name. Maybe you got it from LinkedIn, and it perks their ear and says, this isn't a cold call, until they call you back. Mystery. This one's my favorite. Bob, Lauren with Factor 8. I'm at 480-621-7228. Again, 480-621-7228. Call me back. Who's Lauren? What's this about? What could it be? Is it my kid's daycare provider? Oh, is it the company where that was? Do I know her? I think I've heard her name before. And all of a sudden they're calling back. Yes, we're tricking them into calling you back. Let's just be honest. Urgency. Hey, Bob, Lauren calling with Factor 8. I'm trying like crazy to reach you by the end of the day. Please give me a call back at number. Again, I'm trying to get you before it expires, so call me right away. Number. Before it expires, before it's over. It's important you talk today. Whatever you've got to do to build urgency, maybe we're going to get a call right then. And finally, the SWIFT voicemail. Now, I'm going to remind you in a second the 6 things that business people care about, but your job is to drop one little value into your voicemail. So Coleman, Gareth, and Carla, this is an advanced question for you. What's the value in this voicemail? Bob, LB calling, we've got a webinar you're gonna want to see launching soon, and the attendance is by invitation only. Contact me directly at 304-2381. I'm going to get you your login credentials. Again, it's Lauren at, all right, have a great day. Talk to you soon. All right, exclusivity, FOMO, I can get you in, invitation, yeah. So here are the SWIFT values. The one we just heard was number 4. Reputation, looking good. You're a big deal. It's exclusive. Okay, that is a driver for people. It's not as big of a driver as saving time or making or saving money, but that reputation, it's there. How about quality of life or easy, right? Everybody values different things. I will pay double if you could make my life just a little bit easier. And I would rather give you $50 than 30 minutes. That's just me in my life, right? I got 2 companies, 2 kids, 2 cats, 2 dogs. I'd like, I don't have any time. Please make things easier for me. Power. Ooh, that's a big one, especially with people in purchasing and people in the C-level. And then risk is another one. Avoiding risk is a big deal, especially folks who are maybe in the law or in HR, people who deal a lot with regulations. We've thrown 7 in there as a bonus. It's a lever and you've already seen it, okay? If you can work a SWIFT value into a voicemail, you're perking their ear with some value. We also use SWIFT in introductions that keep people on the phone. We also use SWIFT when we're closing deals. We use it all the time. If you want to check out more, come see more of our sales shots or take our masterclass. All right, I'm going to give you some bonus shots here, folks. If you've done the work on a voicemail and you've not sold and you've not given your value prop, then don't do it in your follow-up. Okay, the best thing you can do is leave a voicemail and send a follow-up message. But for goodness sakes, don't be this guy in your message. I get about 20 pitches via LinkedIn a day, about 30 pitches via email a day. I was putting together a class we had on, I don't remember what it was now, but it was about adding value instead of selling at people. And I literally went through my email and LinkedIn to find a good example of somebody who added value. I couldn't even find one. I mean, I went back weeks and weeks and weeks and I couldn't find a decent one. They were all selling at me. Make 21 after this webinar is over. Scott, you're gonna have to explain that one to me. 21. Did you just send me a pitchy email? Dude, not cool. Not cool at all. One of these days, this guy's gonna be on my webinar too. Awkward. All right, here's your bonus chaser. Everybody's a chaser when you're doing shots, right? It's really critical that you document this in the CRM. Here's a couple of reasons, right? Number one, you might not want to leave the same voicemail over and over and over again, right? If something is urgent and you've been calling for the span of 3 months, you might look a little silly. This is how I do it. Shorthand, left voicemail, number, I used mystery and a name, right? I used urgency about a special. I used SWIFT and it was money. Document it. That way you also know if you can pull it up or your screen pops it up. If you left something about urgency and they're calling you back, you got to cover that, right? Oh, I'm so glad you called. I want to talk to you about blank. Okay, make sure you document it. By the way, it also shows that you're working your leads. Now that's important if you're not going to have your manager take your leads and give them to someone else. I've done that. Managers, if you're listening to me, highly recommend. Here's a few more tips for you. If you want to coach and help your team get better at voicemails, here's your slide. The number one thing you can do is run a contest this week, next week. Count and celebrate your callbacks. When we teach this class and we really work on it, right? The next thing we do is go live to the phones and call. Why? Because we know we're going to get 20 opportunities to leave voicemails. And then through the rest of the day during training, we put them up on the board. And it's never under 20. It's fantastic and it's exciting. All right, what's the next thing you can do? The spot checks in CRM. Let's make sure it's happening. If you're not already coaching voicemails or adding it to a QA or call coaching form, get it in there. Number 4, count the touches. So if you're looking at leads or accounts and you're looking to see who's really working them, for their book penetration, account or contact penetration. Sorry if I'm speaking foreign language to those of you who aren't account managers, but you want to make sure that they're giving those 8 to 13 touches, right? So look for that. And then the last one, do some contests. Let's do some A/B testing. Come up with your very best voicemail script. Everybody use mystery for the day. Everybody use urgency for the day, whatever it may be, or do a head-to-head competition and see which one works better. It can be some fun. All right. Oh, Amy, thank you so much. Download the 4 scripts that you can make your own right there. Now, want to come into the masterclass? We're going to cover voice. Listen, I've got all of these going on: prospecting, discovery, deal progression, closing. Each one of these has multiple classes and live sessions. They're also really inexpensive. And see the promo code? That's important. You guys, we typically work with really big companies at like really big dollars. A masterclass is what we put together for the onesie twosies, for the manager with a small budget, for the reps trying to get themselves better, for the people who want to have a taste. The whole idea is that you can get a sample of what we do without breaking the bank. And if you go to factor8.com/masterclass, there's a whole bunch of them that you can sign up for. The promo code is MC_200 for those of you not looking at my screen. And then I want to let you know, sign up for more shots. I'll see you next month. I'm so looking forward to having you guys like come back again and again. Invite your peers, invite your teams. Free training and tons of fun. Factor8.com/shots. The next one we're doing is for managers. Then we're also doing how to be a great sales manager and how to fix the top 5 mistakes we're making during demos. That's a new one and it's going to be fantastic. If we're not already, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Let's be friends. If we can help you in any way, I would just be honored to do so.